I'm bigcal, and welcome to my world. Today is a non-gaming pickups video, where yes, I actually buy things that aren't video games every now and then. So, get started with a DVD. It's one that I actually watched last night, from the day that I'm recording this video anyway. And it is This Thing of Ours. So, yeah, I'd not heard of this until, unfortunately, James Caan, who's in it, passed away, and I was just looking up what he'd been in and saw this. It's like, well, this has got Frank Vincent in it, who's also unfortunately passed away. Vincent Pastore, who you may know as Big Pussy in Sopranos. And yeah, some other people, there's a bunch of people I sort of recognise that have been in smaller, mafia style films and things like that. And there's even Chuck Zito, who you may know from Oz mainly. So, yeah, so it's got some big names in it, and mafia-style film, but it's kind of low budget. It definitely looks like it was made for TV, not quite sure, but yeah, I tried looking online to see if I could watch it anywhere. I don't have to buy the DVD, but it only costs £1.50. I watched it last night, and it's enjoyable. Yeah, so the plot basically is you've got the nephew of Frank Vincent's character. Frank Vincent's a capo I think they're in the Genovese family, supposedly. Yeah, so his nephew's got a couple of friends who aren't in the mafia, but Italian, so it's all right. And one of them happens to be a computer genius, and they're trying to bring the mafia into the modern age with hacking and things like that, and he's getting hold of some computer chip that they're sending up on a satellite thanks to a friend at NASA. I know. And then with this chip they can then decrypt banking transactions and things and make a lot of money, hopefully. The only thing is they need 50 grand to make an investment to buy this chip, and then hopefully they'll get the money back and more. So, very standardy kind of mafia type film. You're not really expecting much from it, but it's very fun throughout. It does have some weird music picks. Half the film is a rip-off Godfather soundtrack, which is what all mafia films kind of did after The Godfather. But then you also have music that when I was talking about it to some people yesterday on Discord, I mentioned that it wouldn't seem out of place in a teen movie. Yeah, so very weird contrasting styles there with the soundtrack. Yeah, but overall, enjoyable experience. The ending left a bit to be desired with me, just because it's like, okay, if this was the mafia and that happened and that guy did that, then something would definitely happen as a result of that, but it never did, just kind of ended-ish. And one thing, I was just looking it up, and I was very surprised by someone who was, I think, an executive producer on the film. A rather prominent mafioso, literally, called Sonny Francis. He was an underboss for the Colombo family for a very long time, and yeah, his son, Michael Francis, might be a bit more popular now because he's got a YouTube channel. He left the mafia, he got out and has survived and has been okay. And for the most part, the mafia seem fine with him. He's never ratted on anyone, so I think that certainly helps. But yeah, his father was a big legendary figure in the Colombo family, and he was somehow an executive producer on this, which really, really confused me, but there it is. So This Thing of Ours, yeah, it's certainly no Godfather. It's probably closer to a Godfather 3, but better. I'd certainly watch this again rather than Godfather 3. Yeah, it's got some big names in it. Interesting enough. Give it a go if you can. And some Blu-rays now. So I picked this up because it was dirt cheap. It was like £5 in a sale, still brand new and sealed, for my MCU collection. And that is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy this that much. It was fine. I heard people really praising the fight scenes, and I was just watching it thinking, okay, I've seen considerably better fight scenes in a lot of films. So disappointed with that, and the whole, the 10 rings and the real Mandarin. It was a bit of a letdown with all of that. Yeah, it's fine. It's for the collection. I'm not buying the Eternals though until that's like a quid, because that was garbage. Anyway, one of the Netflix Marvel shows, Luke Cage, the first season. I enjoyed Luke Cage. I was very disappointed when it got cancelled because I loved the way the second series ended. I thought the premise of what could go on from that would be fantastic, but it never happened. The first season, really good. Obviously, we get Cottonmouth as a fantastic villain, and then they change it, and we have a different villain that no one really cares about. So that's kind of a bummer, but for the most part, I really enjoy the show. So, yeah. And especially the Netflix shows, they're usually very expensive. Got that for less than a tenner, so very happy with that. Next we have Layer Cake from Matthew Vaughn, and it's Matthew Vaughn helped out. He worked on what's his name? Guy Ritchie films, Lock, Stock and Snatch. So this is kind of a Guy Ritchie film, but not quite. Layer Cake, and we have Daniel Craig in here before he was really big and famous. Colm Meaney, who a lot of people may know from Star Trek, I think he was in. Yeah, but he's also been in some like gangstery type things. So that's kind of what I know him from mainly. Sienna Miller is in there, and yeah, some other people. And when I first watched this, I did not like it. But when I first watched it, I watched it on DVD that I had bought, so I owned it. And one day I decided to randomly give it another chance, and I ended up really, really enjoying it. So yeah, I like it now, and I bought it on Blu-ray. Still sealed, but I will get around to watching it at some point. And the sort of premise is that Daniel Craig is a very smart drug dealer. And one of the things is that we never ever learn his name. Throughout the entire film, we never know what he's called. So, yeah, he keeps out of trouble by essentially being unknown. And, yeah, there are some other bigger gangsters that sort of get involved, and some foreign names, and, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, different bits here and there that all come together, kind of like the Guy Ritchie films tend to do. And, yeah, really good, really fun film, so happy with that. And lastly, one of the newest films, I bought this just to add on to my basket to get free delivery with Amazon, because I didn't want to pay like a £5 delivery, when for an extra quid I could get a Blu-ray of something I like. So I got Gladiator. I think it's supposed to be like the 25th anniversary edition or something crazy like that. Seriously, how old is this film now? How old am I? It's not 25th anniversary, it came out in 2000 or something I think, so probably the 20th. Yeah, 2-disc special anyway. Gladiator, really fun film. Russell Crowe. He's obviously a general in the army, and then, yeah, things start to go downhill from there when the, what's it called? The Emperor? Caesar? Oh god, I'm completely baffled. But yeah, the guy running Rome. Yeah, the Roman Empire, the Roman Emperor, I'm guessing, yeah. Emperor dies and names Russell Crowe to be next in line, but the Emperor's son, not happy with that, so he kills his father before anyone else can be told of the plans, and then he tries to kill Russell Crowe's character. Russell Crowe manages to escape, but he's injured and ends up being put into slavery, fighting in the fighting pits, kind of like Game of Thrones. And he becomes very popular and eventually reveals himself to his old friend, who's now evil and in charge, and yeah, stuff happens. Really, really fun film. Not exactly accurate to the time period in some places, but yeah, really fun film, really good, and I've always enjoyed it. So yeah, get to see it on Blu-ray as well as a second disc with a bunch of extras. So those are my non-gaming pickups. Not that much, just some Blu-rays and DVD, but yeah. Mostly just buy games. So, I'm Big Cal. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my DVD and Blu-ray pickups. Let me know if you bought any recently, and I'll see you again next time.